National Weather Service has released details about the tornado that touched down in Edisto as Tropical Storm Debby tore through the area. It has been given a rating of EF-1 and had an estimated peak wind of 97 miles per hour. The NWS reporting the tornado was on the ground for nearly 3 miles and was 300 yards wide. We have team coverage tonight throughout the low country. But first, let's check in with Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Dave Williams with a look at what we can expect tonight into tomorrow. Dave, it looks like you might have a little bit of good news for us tonight.
I know. You saw it, Katie. You were peeking.
I had to.
Yep, you were peeking. And there it is. The traffic light now is down to yellow because the most dangerous impacts so far with this storm have passed. Now, we're still going to be looking at storm tracker days on Wednesday and Thursday with the tropical storm nearby. Downpours, flash flooding, still likely. Now we're going to be looking at those creeks and rivers too. That's going to empty into the creeks and rivers, and we're going to see some flooding there. We'll see some gusty winds, tropical storm force. Tropical storm force isn't hurricane force. We're talking about 35, maybe 40 mile an hour wind gusts into the day tomorrow, especially possibly Thursday, and rough ocean conditions. But all in all, things are improving. We're going to see tropical storm conditions. That's why we're under a tropical storm warning. That's all the way up and down the coast. The tropical storm out in the ocean now, trying to gain a little bit of strength as it heads out toward the Gulf Stream. It's going to come back toward the coast pretty quickly, and I think we'll see a landfall maybe somewhere right around the mouth of the Santee River late tomorrow, possibly early on Thursday. Flood warning in effect. That flood warning is in effect for Charleston County here down into Beaufort County, and we did have a flood watch, but that's actually been replaced with a flood warning. So, and our flash flood warning was completely replaced. So we're just looking at standing water here now through the low country, and that's emptying into the creeks, streams, and rivers, and that's going to cause some problems. Now, here's why we're seeing the problems, because we got very heavy rain overnight tonight and early this morning. And here, area wide, some spots got a little more, some spots got a little less, but on average, 8.2 inches of rain inside of this box. That's the heart of the low country. And as we go ahead and zoom in a little bit closer, this spot right here at the intersection of 303 and 17 into Colleton County, 17 inches of rain estimated by the radar. Even Park Circle. There's Park Circle. There's that new playground they just built. Such a beautiful area up there in North Charleston. Over a foot of rain has fallen. So it's been very heavy rain. We can't use much more. We're not going to get a ton more, but even a little bit of rain is going to cause some more flash flooding. Spotty showers becoming a little bit more widespread this evening from Beaufort County into Colleton County up toward Charleston County. Those showers working their way onshore. As we go ahead and take a look at those bands spiraling inland, our tropical storm out over the ocean trying to get its act back together again. And here you go. We'll see rounds of those showers and thunderstorms, heavy at times coming onshore, a little bit heavier rain around 8 o'clock in the morning. Into the afternoon, a couple more bands of heavier rain. But as we go from Wednesday into Thursday, our tropical storm's going to start to come on shore right there near the mouth of the Santee River. And as it does so, that's going to shut down some of the heavier rainfall. We'll see some spotty showers as it continues to move away, and that will continue into Thursday as well. So overnight tonight, some spotty showers through about 2 o'clock in the morning. But as we saw in Futurecast, that should get a little bit heavier headed toward daybreak, and some of those showers could cause a little bit more flash flooding. We'll just have to keep an eye on that as we go through our Wednesday and Thursday, which are both storm tracker days, but the light lit yellow now, so not quite as pressing as what we were seeing just 24 hours ago.
Certainly some good news there tonight. Thank you, Dave. The city of Charleston under a curfew again tonight. Mayor Cogswell making the decision to extend it to tomorrow morning. Scott Eisberg kicking off our team coverage from the field tonight in downtown Charleston. Scott, earlier today you bumped into people taking advantage when there was a break in the rain, but for another night it's quiet downtown, and right now it looks like it's rainy downtown as well.
Yeah, Katie, it certainly is rainy out downtown right now, but really not bad rain. It's not hard rain. It's just kind of coming down a little bit, enough to be annoying, but it's not flooding the streets or anything like that. And the thing is about those people walking around earlier, Mayor Cogswell said they're not against people getting up and walking around, going for a jog, walking their dog, doing what they want to do if they live here on the peninsula and it's safe. They're just trying to avoid people being overconfident and joyriding in vehicles. And when you look behind me at the market, which is typically pretty bustling any night of the week, they're adhering to all of those warnings.
Look, I mean, again, the storm is going out into the Atlantic. Weather is very unpredictable. We have no idea what's going to happen. We have projections, we have thoughts, ideas, but when a storm like this goes out over open water, it could pick up power. It could turn into more deadly winds. It could be pushing the tide up into our rivers and exacerbate things. So while we think we're going to be out of the worst of it, particularly as it relates to flooding, we cannot be absolutely certain. So we don't want to make a decision right now. We want to come back and just make an informed judgment call at 7:30 in the morning. Again, I promise you, we're not trying to delay this, but we do need to be smart about it.
That's all the time we have for questions.
So, this curfew ends at 7:30 in the morning. Mayor Cogswell said we will hear from him by 8 o'clock in the morning about what the city will be doing tomorrow with your lives. Obviously, people want to know whether to get up and go to work, whether they could drive, where they could go. We should know by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. But honestly, right now, no flooding at all right here in the market where it usually floods quite bad. But as Dave said, this was just a lull. We've got more coming our way. For now, live in downtown Charleston, I'm Scott Eisberg. I'll send it back to you guys.
Yes, we're here live in Dorchester County, and right now we are at Dorchester Road, where the road is blocked off because of flooding from Old Trolley Road all the way to Brandywine. And the big deal we're dealing with, Dorchester Creek behind me, you can't really see the flooding right now because it's dark, but it has flooded over into the road. That's why the road is closed, and that's what Dorchester County officials have been worried about, is this freshwater flooding. They've spent all day making water rescues, and as the rain continues to fall and the creek continues to rise, first responders are bracing themselves for a busy week ahead. Preparations start weeks in advance when it comes to severe weather. The concern in Dorchester County, flooding.
We've got some, in terms of roads, things like that, flooding. We've got some issues with saturation in terms of roads giving way due to the saturation issue.
That flooding had first responders on their toes all day, starting with swiftwater rescue teams working on Clubhouse Road to remove a driver from this vehicle and get her to safety.
We're actually getting some of the assets that we did request, and they move fast. We know we've requested some assets with some of their higher vehicles that can go into flooded areas and help with rescues.
Rescue calls came throughout the day as the rain and storms continued. Law enforcement is asking the public to help them.
We put up barriers, and we need citizens to obey those barriers. We've had some citizens go around. It's placed our emergency responders in jeopardy because they have to go rescue those individuals.
That makes it tough on first responders. On 2 occasions, we saw Dorchester County deputies stop thrill seekers from attempting to float down Dorchester Creek.
This is 5 times magnified at night. During the night operations, you don't have visibility. We cannot identify all hazards, however, which means that if you don't have to travel at night, please stay home. You place yourself in jeopardy as well as our first responders.
And of course, as we are here live, Dorchester Road, where the road is still blocked off because of the flooding from Dorchester Creek. It is again flooded over into the road, and that's what we're dealing with right now. Now, the rain, it's lulled. We did have some heavy rain for about 30 minutes prior to coming on the air right now, but we can tell you the rain has subsided again. But as Dave was saying, it doesn't take a whole lot of rain to turn all this flooding into a real catastrophe, and that's what Dorchester County folks are going to be dealing with over the next few days. For now, live in Somerville, Webb Wright working for you, News 4.
All right, thank you, Webb. West Ashley is not immune from the dangers of Tropical Storm Debby. The Hickory Farms neighborhood, one area of concern after hours of torrential rain overnight, massive amounts of water sitting on streets, driveways, and front yards. Homes appear to be safe from flooding, but homeowners certainly keeping an eye on the water levels. The Charleston Fire Department is also monitoring conditions. Here's a look at a crew in Moncks Corner working hard to restore those power lines following a tornado. The NWS did confirm a tornado in Moncks Corner. It led to torn down lines, trees, and also damaged several businesses. Currently, just over 4,000 power outages across the state. The numbers have dropped significantly since earlier this evening. Only 127 reported in Charleston and in Dorchester County. Over 1,000 people there still without power. In the midst of the tropical storm, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster held a press conference today. McMaster says the state will seek reimbursement in order to rebuild things destroyed by the storm. Right now, though, he is thankful for the support from FEMA. Continuing our coverage now of Tropical Storm Debby, let's take a look at how some areas around the low country are faring. James Island saw flooding as well as several other parts of the area, specifically in neighborhoods. This was sent to us by Jennifer Nicole, who lives in that part of the low country. Let's head out now to Edisto, certainly one of the hardest hit areas. Here's a look at drone footage of the damaged Coots Bar and Grill. Many other parts of the island torn up. A tornado did make its way through the area, according to the National Weather Service. That rating in EF-1, estimated peak wind 97 miles per hour. Another area that saw a lot of damage in a tornado there as well, Moncks Corner. This is a look inside the Arby's near Highway 52 after it was torn apart by a tornado. The NWS again confirming that tornado touchdown there. Not a lot of details there yet on the rating. We are still waiting on the NWS for that one. Out to Isle of Palms on the beach. They saw their fair share of fallen debris damage. This was some video from our crew this morning. A waterspout reportedly caused Palm Boulevard to flood. There is also an investigation into a possible tornado there. Out in Georgetown, many saw flooding due to slow drainage in parts of Murrells Inlet. On Front Street, it was flooded and blocked off, but thankfully has since dried up. County officials took advantage of the lull in the rain, clearing out ditches and storm drains that clogged up earlier today.
Now on ABC News 4 at 11, we're working for you with a storm tracker update.
And we are continuing to track Debby as it sits off the east coast of the United States, right off of the low country right now, right off of Hilton Head, and continuing to move farther out into the Atlantic Ocean. This is what we have with Tropical Storm Debby. We're going to feel those impacts through Thursday. Brief heavy downpours. I think in general all across the area, 2 to 4 inches more of rain, which could cause some flash flooding. And especially if we pick up just a little bit more than that, we're going to be looking at that flash flooding still possible through Thursday. Creek and river flooding, that's going on right now, and that's going to continue as we head forward toward the weekend and it drains into the rivers. It's going to take a while for all this water to get out of here. And we're looking at those wind gusts up around 30 miles an hour, possibly higher, because we have a tropical storm sitting off our coast. Here's what we had with some of the rainfall totals. These were from a little bit earlier today, and some of those 2-day rainfall totals. Beaufort, about 12.5 inches of rain, so over a foot Edisto Beach. Green Pond, over 14 inches, and I got a report from Hugie of over 16 inches of rain earlier, and that's where we're seeing some flooding on the French Quarter Creek up into the Francis Marion Forest. Looking at our storm system out over the ocean now, moving off to the east at 5, so heading out toward the Gulf Stream. Don't like to see that. 40-mile-an-hour winds right now, and it may try to get a little bit stronger. Fortunately, it's not going to be out there very long. Here's a look at the track on Debby, and as it moves off to the east, strengthening just a little bit, looks like we'll get a landfall maybe Wednesday night into Thursday morning. That is certainly what I'm hoping. The quicker it gets back on shore, the quicker we can get it out of here, and by the time we head toward the weekend, it's long gone. So Couple more days. I know it's a long time to deal with this storm system, but we are going to see things getting a little bit better. Now, yesterday we had this rainfall up in the extreme category, and we got that. We got the very heavy rain, over a foot in many locations. Tomorrow, and as we go into our Thursday, moderate impacts from the rain. We are still seeing the flooding, so that's going to be a moderate to high impact. As far as the wind and tornado, the tornado threat is gone now. The wind threat, maybe a couple gusts up around tropical storm force, coastal impacts such as high risk for rip currents and a high surf advisory. Here's that flooding. Church Creek right now, moderate flooding going on. The French Quarter Creek, that's up around Hugie where I said I got a report of 16.5 inches. Major flooding going on at this point. Ireland Creek and Colleton County right around Walterboro, minor flooding going on. And the Edisto River, not flooding yet, but we're going to see major flooding as we head from Saturday into Sunday along the Edisto River right around Givans. Some light rain showers coming down right now at the airport, 78 degrees, and we're going to see more of those showers overnight tonight. Here are the winds, and the winds really aren't too bad, about 10 to 15 miles an hour, gusts 20 to 25, so there are some wind gusts, and like I say, tomorrow 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts, not out of the question, and that's why there remains a tropical storm warning. Also because there's a tropical storm sitting just off the coast. Here's a look at some of the rain moving inland, nothing too heavy, some spotty showers. The heavier rain right now is back into Georgia, right along the Savannah River there over toward Augusta, and some heavier rain bands out over the ocean, but it's just not seeming to get its act together once again. And one of the reasons is right here. What you're seeing is very dry air. This is the water vapor imagery, and that dry air being pulled into this tropical system. Tropical systems very much dislike dry air, and it's being pulled right into the center of the storm. So it's going to have a tough time beating that dry air, and it's not going to be over water very long, so I don't think it's going to win. There's what we have. Some showers and thunderstorms will continue as this circulation sits nearby right on through Thursday. 11 o'clock tonight, we've got some of that rain. Heavier bands coming on shore, especially as we head into the afternoon tomorrow. And then as we go toward tomorrow night, still some heavy rain. But as that storm pushes inland, it's just some lighter outer rain showers from that storm system, and that's what we have into your Thursday night. By Friday, things are looking much better. So as far as what we have for you overnight tonight, we're going to be looking at some scattered downpours. It's going to be breezy at times, 77-year low. Then into the day tomorrow, we're going to see rounds of rain, sometimes heavy, and we're going to keep things a little breezy. Northerly winds 15 to 25 miles an hour. Higher gusts certainly possible. Storm tracker day, Wednesday, Thursday, but then by Friday, conditions improve greatly. It's not like the skies are just going to clear immediately and we'll see a rainbow and everything dries up. It's going to take a while. Into the weekend, we'll see those rain chances dropping, and by Sunday, lots of sunshine. There's your chance to dry things out a little bit.
Our team coverage of Debbie continues around the Palmetto State. Let's send things out now to Walterboro. Flooding certainly a problem there with roads and businesses underwater. Valerie Bell has the details.
Drive 50 miles west of Charleston, South Carolina, you'll find Walterboro. The city is hailed as the front porch of the Low Country.
I get up every morning and take this Jeep for a ride around the neighborhood.
But for Jack McLean, Tuesday morning was different. It's a similar sight along Snyder's Highway, flooding, and asphalt deterioration into 6 inches of water.
You just saw me. If I hadn't had the little four-wheel drive Jeep, I'd be stuck.
A local tire shop nearly underwater and down roads we couldn't get to. There's the potential for a dam to fail. The local fire department urging people near it to evacuate. Colleton County leaders say the effects from the storm could be felt through Friday.
I went and gassed up this thing here, and I gassed up my cars, and I gassed up the motorhome. I said, well, I'll have a way to run if I have to.
It's the wait and the what if that continues to keep people in this region on edge. In Walterboro, I'm Valerie Bell.